Hi everyone, welcome and thank you for joining us today. My name is Jean, the Digital Event Manager at Connecting Up and TechSoup New Zealand. We are part of the Info Exchange Group, a not-for-profit social enterprise that tackles the biggest social challenges by creating use of technology. Today I'm very excited to welcome you to join e-invoicing for charities and not-for-profits. Adopt now, enjoy instant benefits with Robin Sands, the CEO of Link4. With over 20 years experience providing solutions to businesses of all sizes, Robin is a results-focused senior executive who combines entrepreneurial vision with strong business acumen. He has spent many years working with organizations throughout Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Asia, and USA, including 2 years based in Silicon Valley. In 2020, he was the finalist of the Australian Entrepreneur of the Year, and after more than 6 years in the industry, he is regarded as one of the leading e-invoicing experts for small businesses. Before we get started, there's a bit of housekeeping. All lines are muted. If you have any technical issues, please type into the questions box and I'll be here to assist you. If you have any questions about the webinar, please do not be shy. Just pop into the questions into the same questions box and Robin will get an answer by the end of the webinar. And also, please be reminded that your comments and questions will not be up here to the entire group. And now the webinar is being recorded. The link of the recording and the presentation slides will be sent to you in 1 to 2 business days. And also there's a very short survey at the end, so it would be great if you can help us to complete that. All right, now I'll pass on to Robin for today's section. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Jean, appreciate that. Good morning, everyone. So yeah, we're going to be talking about e-invoicing today. What is it? What are people doing? How does it apply? Importantly, how do you benefit from it? So it's a new thing and not a lot of people understand exactly what it is until they get exposed to it. So hopefully we can expose that to you today. So I'm going to break this down into 4 basic points just to make it a bit easier. Firstly, why do we need e-invoicing? Who is doing it? What's the government doing around e-invoicing? And then how you can get involved, like how do you become e-invoicing enabled? That's what we're going to be running through. Just before we get into too much detail, I want to tell a bit of a story. Here, this is Aaron. Aaron is a coffee shop, actually he's a restaurant owner. Lots of people go there for coffee, so it's a good coffee spot. He received coffee from his supplier. He was invoiced by his supplier. It was exactly what he asked for, so he ended up paying that invoice. And so from his side, he was happy with it, but the supplier never saw the money. What happened? Well, in this scenario, Aaron actually became a victim to what is called a payment redirection scam. Now that is where an invoice is sent by email, the email is intercepted, details are changed on the invoice, on the PDF, and then it's forwarded on. Then the wrong people get paid when that payment is made. Now, payment redirection scams were the biggest scam to hit small businesses in 2019 in Australia, and in 2020, and in 2021. And so far this year, it's with the amount of e-invoicing issues, the amount of payment redirection scams this year has doubled compared to last year. So it is constantly increasing. You may have been affected or you may know someone who's been affected. Most of the businesses we speak to know at least one person who has suffered from a payment redirection scam. It's definitely something that affects small businesses more than large, because large businesses and organizations have tools and systems in place to prevent it, whereas often small businesses are a softer target and do succumb to it. So how do we stop payment redirection scams? Well, the best thing to do is allow the accounting systems to talk together in real time. So if you think of what an invoice is, it's really the information that we've got to take about a transaction and get it from the supplier's accounting system to the customer's accounting system. Actually, I'll often ask people, what do you think an invoice is? And they say, well, it's a piece of paper that takes information about a transaction from one to another. It's actually not the piece of paper. I used to say it's a piece of paper, but it's really the piece of paper is what we wrap that information in. Or these days we wrap it in a PDF to transmit that information. What we need to do is allow that information to flow freely from the supplier's accounting system to the customer's accounting system. And if we allow those two systems to talk together, then we don't open them up to emails, scams, or other issues that come along with emails. You don't send an invoice into a busy inbox or a spam folder, or it doesn't accidentally get deleted by somebody. So it's always available. So when we talk about e-invoicing is the aspect of that data of an invoice being sent from one accounting system to another. There's many reasons or benefits for doing that. We started on the first one here about protecting from scams. That is a key one for many people today. It may not be the one that resonates with you, but it is a big issue. The second one on the list here is faster payments. So if you're sending an e-invoice, you'll often get paid faster. One of our customers got an external audit done, and they found that their payments were, invoices were being paid 50% faster because of using e-invoicing. There are other aspects that increase payments. So if you're sending invoices to the government have to pay an e-invoice in 5 days. So in other words, you can do work for the government on the Monday, create your invoice, send it, and that money is in your bank before the end of the week. If they don't pay within 5 days, they have to pay penalties, and so you benefit that way anyway. But everyone that we've seen so far is getting paid within 5 days. We have seen many paid within 1 day. One invoice we saw was paid actually within an hour, but they don't like us talking about that. The aspect of the accounting systems talking together in this way, and the processes the government have got set up on the other side means they can do it quicker. So there's no need to have boxes of invoices anymore that are stored in a shed, on a shelf, in a storeroom. E-invoices are recognised as a tax document. There's an audit trail. The tax office, the ATO, note that this is a recognisable process, and so there's no need to have a physical document stored anymore. With these documents being online in your accounting system, they're always available, and those that have sent it to you will have them available in their accounting system as well. So they're always available. It's more efficient. Some of the statistics that have come out from the government say that to process a normal invoice, so like it's a paper invoice, it costs around about $30 for the life cycle of that invoice. To process a PDF, it's around about $27 an invoice. Or to process an e-invoice is around $10. So there's a lot more costs and savings and benefits that can happen with using e-invoices. And then there's the aspect that it's available to anyone using cloud accounting and business systems. It's very quick and easy to use. It's not limited to just big organizations, big systems, expensive add-ons and things. It's actually very quick and easy to be able to use. That's the first point that we wanted to cover. Like, what are the benefits of e-invoicing? Well, there's actually 5 benefits that are listed here. There are more. Now, all of these benefits don't always apply to every business, and there are other benefits that may not be listed here that apply to you. And so there are different things that can apply in different scenarios. Who's doing e-invoicing? Well, if you look at the logos on the screen here, that covers some of the key accounting systems and business systems in use in Australia. Now, apparently at the moment, there's like 600 to 800 accounting systems being used by Australian businesses. No idea why there's so many. And it keeps surprising me when I speak to a new business that have, built their own or done something specific for themselves. But what we're looking at pretty much is anyone that has a cloud accounting system like a Xero or an MYOB, you can do e-invoicing very simply and easily. And if you're using some of the larger systems, there's many ways that they can be adapted to e-invoicing as well. So in Australia today, there's over 20,000 businesses that are actively using e-invoicing, and the majority of them are smaller businesses. Plus, you've got the government departments, the large enterprises, and things like that. So that covers the second point about who's doing it in Australia. Well, thousands of businesses are doing it, and more are being added every day. So we actually do see a report ourselves of people that sign up to using Link4, and there's people that do add every day. So we know that number is growing. Third point, government support. What is the government doing around e-invoicing? Well, interestingly, the government themselves see that there's a great benefit in doing e-invoicing, and they don't want to tell people to do it. They want to take the lead and actually do it. So there's a mandate in place where every federal government department needed to have e-invoicing in place by June 30. And so there's a lot of those government agencies have gone through the process now and see how to do it and see what is happening. And with that, we can see that they are taking the lead and they are showing that it's possible to do it. And their trading partners, their small businesses especially that send invoices to them, are benefiting already. So someone did ask me if NDIS is a federal government situation. It's like, yes, it is. And that also comes under the 5-day payment term and the e-invoicing scenario. Have you heard of the BER? The BER, as some people say, it's the business e-invoicing right. And now, essentially what this is that every business can be mandated to do e-invoicing. What we mean there is that, well, I guess the government have gone out to the market. Department of Treasury actually did this in February this year, gone to see if everyone was mandated for e-invoicing, what's the response? Would people accept it? Would it not? What are the benefits, pros, cons? Feedback from the market has been positive. There's been balancing voices in that as well. So there's an opportunity, I guess, coming up of finding out whether all businesses will be mandated or not. I firmly believe that if a business has an ABN and is registered for GST, they're in a position to benefit from e-invoicing. Does that mean they're going to be mandated for it? We don't know. We'll find out soon. Obviously, change of government since this process started, so we need to see what the new government thinks. But the latest update is probably in about 2 months' time, that information will be released. So we'll get to find out what that is. And then there'll be a slow adoption cycle over the next 2 to 3 years of pushing people onto it, starting with government departments, state, local governments, councils, and also large organisations. They will also be pushed to do it too. The government also had e-invoicing week. So this was last month, National e-invoicing week. So there was a whole week of education. They're trying to help everyone understand what e-invoicing is. We actually tried to get this webinar situated in that week as well, but due to a lot of other things happening, this was the best time we could organise it for the Connecting Up team. So e-invoicing week is really, I guess, the government support showing they want everyone to do e-invoicing, but they want people to understand what it is. And so that's what e-invoicing week was about. There was dozens of events and activities to help educate people, and thousands of people have signed up to e-invoicing since then. So it has had a positive effect. There was a quote that came out from the government saying Australia could save $3 billion a year if just 15% of businesses did e-invoicing. And this is one reason why Australia wants to get behind e-invoicing, because it's really good for the economy. And when it's talking about $3 billion, there's an aspect that money will flow faster. Like small businesses won't be waiting for their invoices to be paid for as long. So that money will come back into their accounts. They'll be able to spend it faster. It means they can hire people, buy things, trade more, whatever that might be. That increases the cash going through the economy. So there's definite benefits per business, but the economy itself will benefit too. There's a lot of governments around the world that are adopting e-invoicing and mandating it. Australia's kind of behind when it comes to this, but there's two main reasons why government will look to do e-invoicing. One reason is to support businesses, to support the economy, especially small businesses. That's a positive way to increase the safety of sending invoices, but also getting paid faster. The second reason governments would do it is to find out what is happening with invoicing, trying to kill the cash economy, I guess you could say. They're just trying to understand where the trades are happening. Now, there are two different scenarios, and Australia has chosen to go with the scenario of increasing the cash flow, supporting businesses. They've not gone the way of, we want to know what every invoice is being written about and sent about, etc. So I want to make the point here, the government do not see any invoice data. So they don't know any of the information that is being sent on these invoices. Some people will say, actually I was presenting to some accountants once, and a guy put his hand up and he said, I know the government can see invoices. I know that they are seeing it. It's a big brother thing. And I said, well, actually they can't. It's not set up that way. It's illegal. So the laws have to change if the government were going to be able to do that. But secondly, our software doesn't do it. Like we'd have to rebuild our software to make that process actually happen. So nothing is sent to the ATO or anyone like that that gives this information. This is purely information is sent from the supplier's accounting system to the customer's accounting system. The government do not see that. So it's safer. That's the third point. What is the government doing? Well, the government's supporting it. There's a lot of good benefits and reasons about why businesses should do it. Other countries are getting behind it and fully supporting it. When you look at actually South America, there's almost 100% adoption of e-invoicing through several countries. And I know there's one country there that will actually have roadblocks set up where they check that a load has an e-invoice and not a physical invoice. And so, they're very much supporting of it and know that it does help their countries. Australia, a bit slower, but we're getting there. So now let's come down to your business, your activities. How do you do e-invoicing? Well, if you've got a cloud accounting system, let's say you've got a Xero or MYOB or QuickBooks or whatever it might be, then it's very quick and easy to begin e-invoicing. Because all those systems are the same, they are all on the cloud anyway, they have the ability to communicate with each other. All you have to do is create an e-invoicing account. Now, if you're using Xero itself, then you've got e-invoicing within Xero that you can sign up to and make happen. If you've got MYOB, it's a little more challenging, but it is in there. And it's the same with a lot of these accounting systems. Some people ask, are there drawbacks to using the inbuilt e-invoicing system, say like in Xero? Yeah, there's some drawbacks, there's some trade-offs with that, but importantly for us right now, what we want is everyone to join the network and to be doing it, and then you'll benefit. There are advantages that you can get from using different systems, but importantly, once you start e-invoicing, you'll get to learn how it applies to you. And the majority of small businesses can use e-invoicing for free. So it takes a couple of minutes to sign up, doesn't cost you anything. It's kind of hard to say no to that. So it's quick and easy to do. If you're using an ERP system or a desktop software or maybe a business system, then the options become a little different, and potentially there's more options, but they're a little bit more involved because a lot of these systems are different from each other. And so all I can suggest there is just reach out to us, tell us what you're using, and we can tell you what's the best way for you to join the network. So often there'll be 2 or 3 options that you can look at for that. E-invoicing is regulated. Like you can't just start e-invoicing and go, well, I'm going to do that now, or I'm doing e-invoicing in other countries, so I'm going to start doing it in Australia. No, it's actually very regulated by the government. The ATO are the ones that are responsible for this. They're kind of like the umpires. They just make sure everyone plays well together and that we do follow the standards that are in place. And they are the ones that hand out the accreditation. So lots of processes have to go through, especially security. So much security processes that we have to prove, and we typically do this every 6 months or so just to keep proving that our security is up to scratch, and it's so much safer than any other things that we do. So you need to use an accredited service provider. Now, Link4 are an accredited service provider, and I'm just going to use this opportunity now to talk a bit more about Link4. So we've been talking a lot about e-invoicing in general. We'll be self-promotion now to just talk about what we do. I'll come back to the slide in a moment, but for now, just reinforcing, we are ATO approved. We have accreditation in Australia and other countries that we work in. The federal government are mandated to have e-invoicing, so lots of them have gone and got e-invoicing. Most of them have chosen to use Link4. So we are the most popular one being used by federal government, which I think is a tick of approval as well. And some contracts actually have had to be extended now because they've been using us for more than a year and are very happy with what we're doing. And some of them are actually expanding their usage of it with the types of documents that get sent. And just on that, we talk here about sending invoices. Other documents can be sent as well, like purchase orders or credit notes, statements. There's a few more things that are being built into this. There's probably another 40 different types of documents actually that are being planned, but at the moment some of the basic ones, especially credit notes, are available for most users as well. We have, like Link4 has thousands of small businesses using us. So we actually started e-invoicing in 2016. We were the first ones to make e-invoicing available for small business and actually help prove the concept out for the federal government to show that small businesses can benefit. And we have a lot of small businesses actively using us today, and it continues to grow. As I say, every day there's more small businesses signing up to use us, even though it may be inbuilt within some of their systems like Xero. They still choose to use us because we have some advanced features that are not available in the vanilla services the accounting systems offer. We're also the first to get big enterprise onto the network. So BOC Gas, maybe you use BOC, lots of businesses in Australia do. They were one of the first ones to see the benefits of e-invoicing in Australia, so they are able to send and receive e-invoices. We've also got the first council now on e-invoicing as well. So Link4 is often the first doing things. We were also the first to get Xero, MYOB, QuickBooks, all of those accounting systems. We're usually the first to get them connected to the network. You might see a whole bunch of logos and go, well, mine's not a part of that. Understand there's a lot in use in Australia. We can still adapt and make your accounting system possible for e-invoicing because we're neutral. We don't align ourselves with any accounting system as such. We can make any system e-invoicing possible. All right, let's link forward. Getting back to this list about what do you need to do to become ready for e-invoicing, and we spoke there about you need to sign up with an accredited provider. Sometimes you'll get an accounting system, let's say Technology One, they have an e-invoicing module, which is good, but they're not an accredited service provider. They don't connect to the network. They have to use someone like ourselves. So your accounting system may have a way to deal with e-invoices once the e-invoice is delivered, but to connect to the network, use someone like Link4. This is probably the most important line on this slide for me. Setting a date of when you want to start e-invoicing. If you don't set a date, it won't happen. And I've presented this presentation many times over the years, and you get people go, oh, e-invoicing, it's awesome, we have to do it. And then I'll see them again next time and go, so did you sign up? And they go, oh, got busy, meant to, haven't got around to it yet. Set a date. I mean, most people on the call could probably be e-invoicing active by lunchtime today if they wanted to be. You might set the date of going, well, let's do it by the end of the month. Potentially, you've got a more complex system, a desktop system or an ERP system, and you'll say, actually, I just want to be up and running by the end of the year. That's fine. Like a very complex e-invoicing setup for a system is like 4 weeks. So it can be organised quite quickly and easily. And so there's very few barriers for anyone being set up. It's just a matter of setting a date and working toward it. If you are active with e-invoicing, let other people know that you are. So I can think of one government department that has e-invoicing set up, and we look at their reports at the end of the month and they've done no transactions. And we go back to them and saying, oh, is everything working all right? Is there any challenges? Then they go, well, no one's sending us e-invoices. Okay, have you told them that you've got e-invoicing? And they go, well, not yet. We kind of like the way things are happening now. It also means they don't have to pay within 5 days if they get the old way. So yeah, people just won't know automatically that you're doing e-invoicing. Typically, you've got to tell them, so you can do it as a quick email saying, by the way, we accept e-invoices now, and that will alert them. In Link 4, there is actually, it's set up that you can actually just push a button and it will tell your trading partners that you're doing it, and it can make it a bit easier. That's the basics there of how you can become ready for e-invoicing. If you've got a cloud system, nice and easy. Most importantly though, set a date. So as a quick recap on what we just discussed, what are the benefits to e-invoicing? Well, there's a lot of benefits. They differ from business to business, but there are e-invoicing benefits for the economy. There's e-invoicing benefits to individual businesses. So there's a lot of benefits that you can open yourself up to. Who is doing e-invoicing? Well, there's thousands of businesses are actively doing e-invoicing today. More are joining every day. Hopefully you'll see benefits now yourself and go, you want to be a part of it. There's no drawbacks to being on the network, and as the network grows, the benefits will grow. The government are supporting e-invoicing. They do think it's good for the economy and it's good for the community. So you may be joining e-invoicing and your trading partners may get more benefit than yourself, even though you'll benefit. But that's supporting the community, and there is a lot of benefits for everyone if we do that. And finally, if you're going to do e-invoicing, set a date. Pick a date, look to when you want to do it, and then work toward making that happen. So that's the 4 points about e-invoicing. Just wanted to show you that what the basics are for e-invoicing, and know that you can actually get up and running with e-invoicing quite quickly and easily. And having gone through that, do you have questions? So feel free to use the Q&A box, the chat section there, to submit your questions. Jean, do we have questions?
Yeah, thank you very much, Robin. It's a very informative section, and I'm sure there's questions for you. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type into the questions box, and we can get them answered right now. So the first questions we are having is, how do I get alerted when an e-invoice arrives?
Yes. All right. So any invoice is delivered directly into your accounting system. It's not approved or processed in there. So if you're using Xero, it comes straight into the drafts folder. And that allows you to go in there and approve it, except to assign it to where it needs to go. So there is a manual step there. Now you can log into Xero and just see it in your drafts folder. That is actually the way Xero is set up for that. But you can also get an email alert or a message alert depending on what you want to do. So within the Link4 system, we do send out emails and those alerts. You can get them as the invoice arrives. You can get them daily. You can get them weekly, however you choose to get that. That is one of the drawbacks from the vanilla e-invoicing that you get with someone like Xero. They don't send alerts, but the concept is as soon as you open up Xero, you'll see it in the drafts folder anyway.
That's good. That's really good. So people can really get an alert, isn't it? So it's much easier, and it's a really good reminder as well. And we got another question. So I've been struggling with like whether I should do like e-invoicing, but then it's actually cost me nothing right now for not doing it. And yeah, what are the really key points that I should have to swap?
Okay. So you're right, it doesn't cost anything to create an invoice and send an invoice these days. You can send an email, it's quick and easy to do that. But hopefully you've seen there are costs to that, there are threats to that. If you get caught out by one of these invoice scams, that could cost you hundreds, could cost you thousands or even tens of thousands. So depending on, I mean, that's a threat that people have. So it gives peace of mind from that side. But also if you're sending an invoice with e-invoicing, you get paid faster. So you actually get your money quicker. So it might not cost to send e-invoices, but it actually doesn't cost to join e-invoicing as well. So it's quick and easy to join, whether it's with using Link4 or Xero or anything. It doesn't cost you anything, so you should join and try.
That's right. It costs you nothing, so like why not give a go? And we got a question from Fiona. Do my trading partners all have to be on the electronic accounting system?
No, they don't. So one of the things there is that e-invoicing means you look after yourself. So if you've got an accounting system, great. You don't need to know if your trading partner has an accounting system. You don't need to know what that accounting system is. You don't need to know if they're accepting emails or e-invoices, or if they're still taking the paper version, whatever it might be. So you don't need to know what the other side is, as long as you're set up. So often the e-invoicing scenario, like if you're using, let's say QuickBooks, let's pick something different. In QuickBooks and you create an invoice and you push send, we'll deliver that as an e-invoice if they can accept it as an e-invoice. But if they can't, we'll send it the old-fashioned method and send it as via email, and they get the PDF and the PDF link in there, so they still get it. But they get it in the way that they want. At least on your side, then you're doing your part. And if it is possible for them to, receive an e-invoice, then you get those benefits. Maybe they're not on e-invoicing today, but maybe they sign up, on Monday next week, and so that means everything you send after that, then it'll get sent through. But you don't need to know that. You should be able to just create your invoice and push send in your system, and the system takes care of it.
Lovely. Thank you very much. All right. I guess that's pretty much for the Q&A today. So before we finish up, do you have anything you would like to add?
No, nothing more to add from me. Appreciate the time to be able to share that. As I say, I've been educating people about e-invoicing for years now. I'm more about education than trying to get people to use our system. I just want everyone to get on the network because there are real benefits to it. So please, if you liked what you heard, see benefits for yourself, please take some action and sign up.
Yes, 100%. And if you have further questions, just pop up. Please feel free to send us an email as well, and we will get Robin to sort it out for us. And also, you'll be getting the recording and the presentations live in 1 to 2 business days. So wait for it. And thank you very much again, Robin. It's our honor to have you today. And thank you all of you who's joining us. See you next time. Goodbye.
Thank you.